Welcome to the Our Team Podcast, powered by eXp Realty. Are you an agent looking to level up? Are you someone looking to buy or sell real estate? Fantastic. This is the show for you. Welcome to the Our Team Podcast. This is Eric. I'm back again, and I have Brian with me today. We've decided that we should sit down for our weekly podcast yet again.
Yeah, we should do this.
On a more regular basis.
Hey, well, the good news is that we've been really busy.
We have been really busy. Business has been really busy.
Yep.
So
it's surprising, right? That's kind of what we're going to talk to everyone about today.
That was exactly what we were going to talk about, is just how busy it's been, even though if you're listening to like the mainstream media, you're hearing the world is crashing, the world's falling down. Yeah. Well, apparently they haven't been out to the Temecula Valley, because I've been busier than ever, and all of our team has been busier than ever.
Yeah, it feels really good. There's a lot of synergy happening. We have a lot of interested buyers coming from all kinds of different sources. I mean, we have a tremendous amount of leads coming in through sources like Facebook, Instagram, lots of leads coming through Google pay-per-click, YouTube, and of course can't leave out Zillow. We're huge with Zillow. Some people hate us for that, but I love Zillow. I think it's they're an incredible partner, actually.
Well, I was going to say Zillow is an excellent partner, and we have things that we want to talk about, things that are coming new to the market that are going to make more agents mad.
Yeah, I know this isn't the topic for this episode, but it surprises me how many people are still upset about big disruptors like Zillow, because they feel like they've kind of come in and stolen listings and kind of ruined it for every if you're an agent, then they've ruined it for you. But the fact of the matter is, they've helped a lot of agents really succeed, and not only that, they're providing something that buyers want. Buyers really want. And I think some agents get a little ticked off because they're like, well, buyers would rather go there than come to my website.
That's fine. Go to their website. I don't care, as long as you call me up and say, Eric, let's go see this listing. That's all that you're really looking for.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. The whole concept of it is, Zillow is through IDX feed. They're taking listings that are out there for everyone to see, and they have the biggest market share. So people are just going there. Did you know more people, when they're searching for homes, they'll actually Google the word Zillow more than real estate or realtor?
You want the inside secret?
Yeah, what's
when
that?
My wife and I are both agents, are looking for properties, and she doesn't want to log into the MLS, I tell her, hey babe, go on Zillow.
Well, right now you may as well, because it's accurate now, because they're actually IDX fed.
Right. So I mean, I'm looking on the MLS directly, and she's looking through Zillow, and we're each getting a different cropping of homes directed at us, so it's twice as effective.
Well, it's half the story. I mean, it's the details that you do get on Zillow about properties is accurate. It's not very robust. If you really want to know, what properties have and what they don't have, and taxes and accuracy and stuff like that is there, but it's just there's not a lot of detail compared to what you can get from your agent, of course. But this is where we wanted to go with this whole conversation, is talking about the fact that rates are high. I just got an email this morning saying they were 7.4. Some product was 7. Anyway, they're in the 7. They're in the high sevens. Okay, for sure.
Okay, so maybe it was just my client that was having a hard time.
Yeah, based on your FICO, based on your debt to income ratio, your credit history, things like that. I mean, you're gonna get. Let's just say this: if you have perfect credit, and you are like the model citizen for getting a mortgage.
Why aren't you buying cash?
I think you can. No, but you don't have cash and you need a mortgage. I think it's in the low sevens, somewhere in there. Okay, so, but there's a lot of people that are freaking out about that, and yet, and by the way, I'm one of those people. I was like, oh my gosh, the rates are going to be so high. I may as well just go work at Walmart, because no one's going to be buying houses anymore, right? So here I am thinking, oh, this is really going to be a struggle. And I'm not going to lie to the audience that we have. Our audience really appreciates what we bring, because we are honest. There's no bullcrap here. We have had, our numbers are down about 40%.
Agreed.
Yeah. So, and that is because the shift in the market with the higher rates, things like that.
Well, the hardest part is just making sure that you're getting pre-approvals that are accurate.
Yeah.
And making sure they're requalifying especially if you're looking over 30 days, just due to them being picky, or the perfect home isn't there.
Yeah, shortage of inventory. So, but what I wanna focus on is the why. What is going on? Why? And I think it's a good exercise to talk about why there are so many buyers out there, even though interest rates are high, and why was I so wrong? Because I was mentally preparing and even preparing the team that it's going to be a little tougher to work with buyers right now because they're going to really retreat, right? Well, what I've discovered is that's not true at all. At all. The millennials are out there, and they are wanting to buy, and they have all this pent up desire to buy a house now, and the problem is there's no inventory for them because what higher rates have done is they've sort of killed off the move up and move down buyer pool and seller pool. That's all a buyer pool, right? Because if you're moving up or moving down, you're also a buyer, right?
Correct.
So you're not going to sell.
You're adding to the buy pile and you're buying.
Yes. So if you're going to sell your home right now, you got to look long and hard and go, I'm in at 3% on a 30-year fixed on this mortgage. I would sure like to buy a smaller single-level home, and so you can do that. But then you're going to get into a product that's probably 7%, and so you're moving down and probably going to have the same payment.
If not higher.
If not higher. Or you can move up and say, I really like a nice bigger house. I got a 3-bedroom, 2-bath now without a pool, and I'd sure like to have, that 5-bedroom home with a pool with a nice view. And what's going to happen is you're thinking, I just can't sell right now because even though I'm a little cramped right now with my family in this home, kind of outgrew it, I definitely don't want to give up my 3% or even if it's a 4.5% that you have, right? In order to get a bigger home at 7%. So it's causing people to kind of pump the brakes a little bit on that type of thing. So what you do have is a huge shortage of inventory. And you still have a tremendous amount of first-time buyers. They're the first-time buyers. That's who's buying right now. Investors that are paying cash and first-time buyers. So it's crazy.
But even investors are having a hard time because the rates are high.
Yeah.
And the property values. Normally what we see is, interest rates go up and the property values come down. Mm-hmm. We're not seeing that.
Right.
The property values are maintaining. Now, swinging for the fences on every home, which I've seen in certain areas, where they're $100,000, $200,000 overpriced, that's cool. Go for it. Yeah. It's going to take a dedicated agent to sniff out the overage and offer what it's really worth.
Correct. Well, it's you kind of have a tale of two listing scenarios too. You have people that are listing at the right price, and it's a bloodbath on those, and you can't. I mean, it's just crazy. Meanwhile, you have those homes that are priced way too high, and they're sitting, and they're going to continue to sit. They're not even on the radar. Actually, they're just kind of out there as like extras in a movie set. They're just not doing anything.
Those are the ones that I think are the bargains because they price them too high, and once you really settle down and do your job as an agent to figure out what they're really worth, you go, oh, okay, you could come in $200,000 less, especially over the $1 million price point. They're just overpricing them, period.
Yep. Well, and the homes that are overpriced right now in our market and that have been overpriced for, say, 150 days or whatever, they don't really need to sell. And that's the fact, because if they did, they would lower the price. I mean, they're too high, and they're not going to move, and that's what it is. But those kind of homes are a good opportunity, actually, if you are an agent out there listening to this and you're working with a buyer that's that really can't afford 7%, you can do 2-1 buy down and structure that into the offer and just search for homes that have been on the market over, say, 90 days. Or even over 60 days.
I was going to say over 60 days.
Yeah, go into the MLS, do a really specific search, and search homes that have been out there longer than 60, and then show those to your client. You've got to let your client know that you've filtered out newer listings because, you need to disclose that to your buyers. But say, hey, here are homes that have been on the market for 60 days or more. We can probably get you a 5% interest rate for the first year, and then a 6% the next year, and blah blah blah. You can explain how that happens, and rates are going to come down. So, and I think the millennials, they just get that. That's why they're out there. They're buying right now in droves. They don't care about 7% interest rates. And I'll tell you why they don't care, because they never experienced what it was like to be looking for a home or get pre-qualified when rates were 4.
Well, it also
or when rates were 3. They weren't in the game at that point. We were.
Maybe their grandparents were, or their parents were, for that matter. But you're correct.
But their parents will tell them, or their parents are telling them stories like, when I bought our first house,
it was
Jimmy,
12.
It was 12%,
Exactly.
or 18, right? Mike?
So jump in now. Look at where we end up, kids.
Yeah.
We started at 12 or 15%, and in your lifetime, we got it down to 3%.
Exactly.
Do we ever think it's going back to 3? We hope not. But
Yeah. I actually do hope not, because that's just a little weird.
5% though is a great number, and so that's what you should be praying for is 5%. But
Yeah.
8 right now, 7. These are great numbers, and I wish when we bought our first home,
Yeah.
they were cheap like that.
That's what they're being told by their parents. So, I guess the point here is you have to understand what's happening in the market so you can be more effective. You can kind of meet those clients where they're at. It is, if you're an agent listening to this right now and you're really discouraged because rates are high, it is a limiting belief, and it's your fault. It's a limiting belief that buyers aren't buying right now because the interest rates are too high. You believe that because, and by the way, I was guilty of this too until I snapped myself out of it, but you've seen when interest rates were super low and you were working with buyers who were getting into a $700,000 home for a very low payment. You've seen that. So for you, you're now working with buyers and they're getting pre-qualified at 7%, and you're kind of like, oh my gosh, why would they do this right now, right? That's your limiting belief. The reason why they're going to do that right now, these millennials especially, is because they really want a home, and their desire to have home ownership and begin that part of their wealth cycle, right, is greater than their disdain for the high rates. So get out of the way and just help them buy a house. Show them the right properties. Be a good agent. Answer all their questions. And don't worry about rates. It's not for us to even be concerned about.
Right.
As
It's not our
agents.
job.
No, it's not our job. What your job is as a real estate agent is really one thing, and that is to bring a buyer and a seller together. That's what you do. You then, of course, in the state of California, since we handle the contracts as agents, you're a little bit of a contract, expert as well, explaining things like that, and navigating through that. A little bit of, you almost feel like you put on several different hats through the process, but ultimately, you're bringing a buyer and a seller together. You don't have to worry about the whole lending thing. You need to be aware of it. That's why we're talking about this right now. But you don't need to be an expert at payments and all the different.
Be an expert at finding a good lender. Hopefully, you have one that you regularly use, a preferred lender, or 2 of them for that matter, and just tell your client, shop my 2 lenders, shop all the friends that you know as lenders.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
just make the best deal for you.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, we're going to find your dream home for you. You've got to be happy with what that payment looks like.
Yep, exactly. I like that. So as we wrap up this, I just want to remind you, if you're an agent, don't be discouraged, all right? Sometimes we lack, we're not in a place that we want to be in our career because we lack belief, right? And you have to believe in order to really be successful in your goal. So if you have a goal to sell X amount of properties, the only way you're going to believe that you can do that is if you're surrounding yourself with somebody that's way better than you at doing it, and attach yourself at the hip with those people. And like Brent Gove says, he's like, you gotta build a fire in the basement. You gotta build a fire in the basement. Hang out with somebody that's better than you. Get excited about what they're doing, see what they're doing, figure out how they're doing it. But what will happen is you will believe that you can do it because you're around people that are doing it. And so what happens is you just start to, you're not going to worry, you're not going to get tripped up on the fact that rates are high. I mean, there's so many buyers out there that the problem is not the buyers. The problem is there's no inventory for them.
I was going to say, we're in inventory short.
Exactly.
Call all your friends and family. If you have any listings, call me.
Yeah, exactly. So be out there circle prospecting, be out there, making sure that you're marketing yourself to those groups of people that are actually buying right now. So,
well, thank you so much for your time, Brian, and we will see you on the next one.
Catch
Hey,
you
wait,
guys later.
before you go, would you do us a favor? If you found any value in this content, would you please like and subscribe to it? Maybe even leave a comment. It really helps us out.